To welcome you to FLO by Martin McCORMICK. Thank you.
Florence of Arabia. That's what we should call her from now on. Mike. He's become more prone to these carefully crafted comic outbursts at breakfast. I think it makes him feel less guilty for dragging us halfway across the globe if he's at least attempted a joke before he heads out to surgery for 12 hours. He plucks her from my grasp, holding her with great uncertainty in that way that new dads do, like they've got a pal in a friendly headlock at a stag do. I pour myself an ambitiously large bowl of cereal. You're Daddy's little Florence of Arabia, aren't you? He's repeating his play on words to little Flo, but unsurprisingly it doesn't provoke a reaction in our two-week-old child. His face looking like one of those illuminated signs that prompts an audience to laugh at a live sitcom recording. He's still chuckling at his own joke when suddenly he interrupts himself with an "ah!" and I look up, thinking that something's wrong. His face changes. We could get it printed on a bib. He's got to be kidding. I'll take a look online during my lunch break. He's not kidding. I just so happened to shove a mouthful of cereal into my mouth at the point of him finishing that thought. It prevents me from audibly tutting. Instead, I dream of when I used to get a break, let alone a lunch break. What do you think about that, darling? What do I think? You know, about the bib. Well, Mike, apart from the fact it's unbelievably tacky, it's hardly the most practical suggestion, is it? Given that bibs on newborns are worn for about an hour, max. Especially when your baby, namely ours, projectile vomits about half the breast milk I give her, but somehow never on you. But you go ahead and get it, Micah, and then you can get a nice photo taken with your daughter and her special bib. You could make it your new Facebook profile picture, and then everyone back home in Blighty can marvel at the joint proof of your wit and virility. You get that bib ordered, Mike, but you might want to rethink it slowly. Because we aren't actually in romantic Arabia, are we? This is Iraq. Modern-day Iraq, which I grant you is not a million miles away from the geographic and now defunct location of your bibby punchline, but it is in fact incorrect. Perhaps even mildly racist. Now, you should know about these things, Mike, what with your oh-so-PC views on global politics. This is Iraq, which is not in Arabia, it never was in Arabia, and it never will be in Arabia. What do you think about that, darling? But I don't say any of that. Because he's only made a joke, and it's just a stupid bib at the end of the day, so I just say, lovely. And try not to let any crunched cereal fall between my lips. You do know that that was something Noel Coward said? You know, about Peter O'Toole in the David Lean film, Oh, he's brilliant at this. I immediately feel sorry for bursting his balloon. Darling, sensitive Dr. Mike. I don't feel pity for him. No, there's no point in pitying him. How can you? How can you pity a man that brought you at the point of labour to a strange and dangerous land when he is here to save lives? He's a hero. Daddy is a coward-quoting hero. Yeah, but I know that it's hard for him. And that's an understatement. I've told him he's not allowed to tell me anything about the sights that he sees. So he has no one to talk to about it. Not that he ever was that kind of man, but frankly, I don't think I'm ready to hear about the effects of hidden landmines on the population of Iraq. Crippled mothers and toddlers. And, well, I'm just not ready for it. I think that's understandable right now, don't you? So Mike just bottles it all up and tells crap jokes. Suddenly I'm aware that he's at my shoulder, or more to the point, the baby is at my shoulder. He's doing that thing where you know it's being returned to you and you have no choice but to take the baby with a pseudo-grateful nod of the head and a thankful I'm sitting at the table masticating a mouthful of dry muesli and he's murmuring at that frequency that men do, you know, half speaking, half answering their own questions. Gittering is the word my mother used. The baby is now fully outstretched in my direction. It's getting on a bit, darling. I really should be No, I'll text when I get there, signal permitting, obviously, pet. Helen, pet. Are you okay, pet? And I want to say no. I'm bloody not. But I swallow down the words along with the tough breakfast flakes and take the little shoulder-loitering baby from Mike's hands. Really got to get going, sorry. Bye-bye, my girls. Girls. Is that all I am to you now? Equal billing with a baby. An educated, intelligent woman, reduced and relegated to the same status as a tiny wee moron. Yeah, and I know that's not fair. It's not fair on FLO, but you know, really they are. The vast majority of the animal kingdom, at the point of birth, can crawl, dig, swim, walk, hunt, fucking fly. But us, humans, what can we do? Yeah? We lie helplessly on our backs, pooing and puking with the expectation that someone will clean it all up. We expect people to be our slaves. It's what happens, it's what we instinctively do. So don't girls me, Mike. And I don't say any of that either. That doesn't happen. You could call me later, darling. Oh, we could do a FaceTime. That's not going to happen, so why don't you piss off and enjoy interacting with other adults? I do say that. I've always been good at keeping my thoughts to myself. I've always been good at it. Mike gitters, but he's always harmlessly innocent. That's what he is. I suppress. Always have. That's what I am. Until now. Now I've properly said something and it just flies out of my mouth like when FLO vomits a good 2 tits worth all over my face, except it's on his face now. And he just stands there like he's covered in sick. My words splattering off his shirt, saturating his trousers and dripping down onto his clean work socks. And I go on. And for the record, darling, I think the bib is a fucking terrible idea. Boom! It's like I've detonated a shit-filled nappy landmine and Mike's been caught in the blast. He just looks at me, unable to blink, let alone find a word. The echo from the explosion gradually dies away. Even FLO is silent. She can't believe it either. Her daddy wiping his eyes, cleaning the shit off, or more likely in melodramatic Mike's case, a tear. His lip trembles. Well, there's no need to be like that. I really need to get going. We'll get going then, and us girls will see it tonight. He isn't a door slammer, but his bottom lip is so petted you can practically hear it dragging on the marble as he leaves. The gates to our compound take an age to open, reassuringly heavy, I suppose, but it isn't ideal for a quick and huffy textbook Mike exit. He started reversing into the drive, something he never did back home in his shiny new Jeep. But given the circumstances, it's fortuitous for him because he doesn't see me as he leaves. I'm a crude Statue of Liberty. We are driven inside by the Middle Eastern morning heat, like it doesn't want us to set 1 foot outside. Stay indoors, it says. It's roasting out here. Aren't you forgetting to mention how dangerous it is out there too, Iraq? But I can't help but think as he drives away, well, an argument is hardly the best way to leave things, is it? Not in this country. Makes you wonder how many mornings have panned out just like this. Not just here, but in the world, in history. Throughout history, words that someone has said and then regretted because their loved one has. And I want to shout out, I'm sorry, Mike! Come back! But I can't be bothered. I haven't got the energy. We both yawn and sink, but sadly I know only one of us will get any sleep right now. I approach the living room via the kitchen, grabbing my bowl of muesli. I ram in a ridiculously sized mouthful while Flo tucks into her breakfast. I don't know what's more painful, the muesli burrowing its way down my throat or her feeding on my boob. And I don't want to wake her as I have done only the day before by shrieking in pain, so I suppress the pain in my nipple until she falls asleep on me. And then I turn on the TV. We may be in Iraq, but we have the best satellite that the Red Crescent's money can buy, and I'll be damned if I'm missing Match of the Day. I pull the proof right up to the screen and mute it immediately, silencing Gary Lineker in his tracks. Shh, Gary. I understand, Alan. Gary always understands. We've missed the opening credits, but that's a relief because they only would have irritated her. Like her father in that sense, although he would have just left the room if we were back home. Not a sports fan, our Mike. I've worked out that if I set the volume to 7 out of 60 with the remote, and I'm about 2 or 3 inches from the screen, I can always hear her breathing on the other side of the room, but she can't hear Gary Allen and Robbie dissecting Leicester's counter-attacking prowess against Stoke City's static back 4. With the volume this low, it's actually quite soothing. Like Gary's whispering in my ear, and it counteracts the fact it really hurts my eyes being this close to the blade of the screen. But by God, it's the closest thing I've got to being back home and in a room full of friends. I've kind of stopped reading their messages. Hope all's well. They all start with that. Hope all's well with you and the baby. Mike put some lovely photos online the other day. Which makes me question whether he is actually here to perform reconstructive surgery on landmine victims, or whether he's just paid to make his timeline look pretty. Won't bother calling, as I'm sure you're snowed under with beautiful Florence, reads the latest dozen or so cannot be arsed words from my cousin Chrissy. Sorry for taking up so much of your precious time, I want to respond. I think it would be easier just to delete this stupid Facebook account than have to tolerate any more insincerity from these people. So I do. Mike's texting within minutes, which makes me question even more what it is he actually gets up to at work. Have you deleted your Facebook? Not, are you guys okay, or I got into work fine, which given the fact we're in Basra, you would hope would be the first thing he'd type. No, just, have you deleted your Facebook? P.S. Your cello arrived today. Surprise, kiss. The conversation when we were packing up to leave went like this. You should take your cello, pet. Absolutely not, no. It's too expensive to travel with and I don't want it getting damaged. But it might help the baby. Mike obsesses this point. Cellos soothe babies. All I heard when I was pregnant was Bach cello suites. I was in the labour ward, mid-contractions. And there was Mike, holding a little speaker to my belly. I hit him with the gas and air. Mike, you are a surgeon, but it seems like I'm going to have to spell it out to you. When you have a baby, you tear. Some women tear a lot. And what is the worst thing a woman can do in the days after giving birth? I suspect wrapping your legs around a cello is reasonably high on that list. I tore a lot. Feels like I'm still tearing. So, I don't even want to look at a cello, let alone play one. I want to watch Match of the Day on a very low volume and see Arsenal struggling at home to defeat Swansea. All right. But I don't get that far. Chrissy's texting. Given the time difference, she's probably pissed in the queue at the kebab shop. Have you delted your Facebook, hun? What's up, Zed? I appear to have sparked an international incident. Struggling, actually, Chrissy. Really lonely, to be honest. I think Mike would be better off without me. Send. Alan is telling Gary that the Leicester board need to back the new man. Gary agrees, but of course he does, he's a Leicester boy. Florence sighs. And I'm gripping my phone, hoping that Chrissy might tell Mike something I've been unable to say to him. I look at the screen and Gary is mouthing my name. Don't worry, Alan. Maybe Chrissy is texting Mike right now and explaining in great detail that you need help. What do you think, Alan? Alan's eyes sparkle knowingly, but his stony-faced textbook sheer. Mike will be home in a flash. No reverse park in the drive. He'll slam open the door, which will waken Flo, but it won't matter, because he'll tell Helen it's time to go home. He'll hold her like she's never been held. A hug would be lovely right now, interjects Gary. You'd better get that, says Bobby. Get what? Savage, you ponytail twat. Gary laughs at my audacity. The phone buzzes. Oh, thank God, it's Chrissy. You're struggling? Fuck, I don't want to hear that, Helen. Hasina said that she saw you yesterday, pet. Hasina, I'm just out the shower. And Mike's on the trail. Well, truth be told, he's on the toilet doing a wee. I pretend not to have heard and start drying my hair. Yeah, she said that she saw you outside, alone. Caught red-handed. That's true, I did do that. Anything to escape the incessant wails of Flo, and there's no way that you can hear her outside the house. It was designed to be sound and shock-proof. Wasn't that long ago that Basra was a war zone. They hold sporting events there now? Boasted Mike. Anytime anyone wanted to know if it was safe for us to venture over here. Not that you'd be caught dead at a sporting event, eh, Mike? God, he's still looking at me from the toilet seat. It's quite unsettling.